Hey there, welcome back to another video. Just like last time, my name is Nick. Let's get into it because I got my notes right here for the final preview of the PLL season. That's right, we're coming up on the championship game. It's going to be played this Sunday, September 14th, in Harrison, New Jersey at Sports Illustrated Stadium. So let's take a look at this matchup. Coming out of the East, we have the 1 seed New York Atlas versus the 1 seed from the West, the Denver Outlaws. Got my stats leaders right here. Same thing as last couple preview videos that I've done. It's just going to be the regular season stats. So on New York side, we have Connor Schellenberger with 46 points leading the way. He also leads the team in assists with 23, and he leads the team in 1 point goals with 23. Face-off percentage for the Atlas is led by Trevor Baptiste at 58%, who this game is actually kind of like a hometown game for him. He's from Jersey. I believe he's from Newark, so up in North Jersey. And the calls turnovers leader for the Atlas is Gavin Adler with 13. Over on the Outlaw side, we have Pat Cavanaugh with 37 points, Pat Cavanaugh with 16 assists, and Pat Cavanaugh with 21 1 point goals. So he leads all three scoring categories outright for the Outlaws, just like Connor Schellenberger leads all three outright for the Atlas. Face-off leader for the Outlaws is Luke Weirman with 52%, and then calls turnovers, we have Jake Pisano with 12. In net, the goalie matchup for New York, we have the brick wall himself, Liam Entenmann. 10 games played in the regular season, save percentage of 57%, and a score against average of 11.9. In his last game against the Water Dogs in the last round of the playoffs, he had 18 saves and a 69% save percentage. He was the defining factor for that game. I don't think anybody can convince me otherwise. 18 saves is kind of crazy. For Denver, we have Logan McNaney, 8 games played. I think he was injured for the first two of the season, so that's where he missed it. He missed 2 games. 58% save percentage in the regular season and a score against average of 10.6. In his last game against the Redwoods, he had 11 saves, 64% save percentage, and the Outlaws just kind of shut out the entire second half. I think he only allowed 1 goal in the second half of that game, so he was doing pretty well too. I think it was more of a team effort on Denver's part. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but Liam Entenmann is almost definitely the reason that New York is in this finals. Their season matchup, just one time they played because they're in opposite divisions, was week 10. It was the week that Denver was hosting, so they were one of Denver's matchups that week. The final score to that ended up being 13-12. Denver took that one in overtime. My prediction for this, so I actually wrote my notes the day that the second round finished because we knew who was playing in the championship. So I was like, let me just get this written up and I won't have to worry about writing it out later. I, I my original prediction, I took the Outlaws. I've been sitting on these notes for 2 weeks. I'm wearing my Atlas hat because my heart wants to say the Outlaws, being an Outlaw fan, but I think it's probably going to be the Atlas who come out on top of this game. My original prediction was 15-12. I don't actually have an updated prediction on the score. I just think heart saying Outlaws, gut saying Atlas. Got to go with the gut on this one. I'm taking the Atlas. We'll just keep the score the same, 15-12. So since that's the only game I have to preview for this week, I do have some other lacrosse news from around the lacrosse world. The WLL Women's Lacrosse League, which is actually subsidiary of the PLL, announced that there will be an actual season next year. We're not sure what the layout or what the schedule format is going to look like, whether it's going to be a bunch of tournaments or if it's going to be like a true season like the PLL plays, but we will have a full season of women's lacrosse next year, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm really into this whole boom of women's sports. I don't know if it's just because I got two little girls now, and if they want to get into sports, there's going to be ample professional opportunities, not just, one or two sports that they could maybe break through in. But yeah, I'm really excited. Barring any expansion before their first season, which I don't really see, we'll have four teams going into this season: the Boston Guard, the California Palms, the Maryland Charm, and the New York Charging. So all four of those locations are all locations that have PLL teams, and the Women's League and the PLL teams, they're pretty much they're not truly a shared identity, but you can tell that they're trying to market them as the same esque. Um, the WLL did play a tournament in February this year. It was during the championship series for the PLL, and the Boston Guard actually came out on top, winning that tournament. We're going to hop over to the NLL now, National Lacrosse League, box lacrosse or indoor lacrosse for anybody not familiar. I think the biggest news from that is that Albany will no longer be a part of the NLL. There will not be a team in Albany anymore. The Albany Firewolves will be moving to Oshawa, Ontario, Canada this upcoming season, and they will become the Oshawa Firewolves, which is good because when I heard Albany was moving, I was a little upset. I was hoping we weren't going to lose the Firewolves brand. I think that's one of the, not the better in the league, but I really like the branding of the Firewolves. I like their logo, like their jerseys, everything. So it's a good thing that they're not going away. They're just moving to Oshawa. They literally have the same logo, except for Albany, it says Oshawa. So really excited about that. This also means we now have an even split between NLL teams in Canada and America, because there are 7 in Canada, 7 in the States, and now the NLL is tied with the NHL for most Canadian teams in a non-Canadian specific sports league, like the CFL is. And then the last little tidbit I have is the NLL draft was on September 6th, and the first 3 picks all belonged to the Toronto Rock. Crazy to have the first 3 picks in a draft. But with the first overall pick, they took CJ Kirst. His PLL stats from this past season, where he played 4 games, he was injured for the first chunk of the season, so only ended up playing 4 games. Had 9 one-point goals, 4 assists for 13 points. Second overall, they took Ty English. Did not play in the PLL, so his stats from this past season in college at North Carolina were played 18 games, had 23 goals, 5 assists for 28 points. And then third overall, they took Owen Hiltz, who I was really hoping was going to fall to Georgia so that I could root for Owen Hiltz, because I don't root for the Chaos, but I really like Hiltz. But that was probably going to be a stretch that he was going to fall to 7, which was the Swarm's first pick. But they did take Owen Hiltz third overall in the PLL this season. He had 8 games played, 16 one-point goals, 11 assists for 27 points. So that's all I got notes-wise. Let me know if you're excited for the WLL, if you're excited for the NLL season, who you think's gonna win the PLL Championship. They'll both be first-time champions, I believe. I don't think Denver won as the Chrome. If they did, that was the Chrome. This is the Denver Outlaws now. So not really this. I mean, they're the same franchise, but Denver doesn't have a championship. The Chrome have a championship, and they're not even around anymore. But until next time, bye-bye.